So in today's video, we're going to be looking at some release clause bargains. These are players that are valued under 10 million for their release clauses at the start of FM24 when you start your brand new. So I found a mixed bag of some defenders, some attackers, some wingers, a few different players in there. I do feel like for under 10 million, you can get quite a lot of these players in, and they seem like absolute bargains. So let's dive in by looking at the first one here. We got Nico Elneny, someone I used last year as my main Twitch save. We Borussia Mönchengladbach and won the Champions League, and Elneny was part of that team that won the Champions League. 26 years of age, and he's going now for an absolute bargain. If you go into his contract here, you can see straight away he has a minimum free release clause before the August 31st of 2026 for 8.5 million. I do feel it's quite a bit of a steal for this guy, because look at him in terms of attribute-wise. He looks absolutely solid. He's valued between 4.3 and 13 million, so you might be able to get it a little bit cheaper, maybe, but if you're a bigger team, need a rotational defender, this could be your guy. I mean, 6'2", good jump and reach, good heading, tackling's decent, passing, marking, mentals are all really good. And of course, international experience in Elneny, playing for the Switzerland national team as well. An absolute solid player to get into your teams for less than £10 million. So his next one is a Croatian international with 31 caps and 8 goals for his national side. He's a striker called Petkovic. He can play in cam, he can play striker. I mean, career-wise, he's been in Italy for a while with Bologna, went to Verona, and the last few seasons been at Dynamo Zagreb. But right now, if you go into his contract, you can see you can get him for as little as 2.1 million if you can get him before the 24 season ends. But even then, later on sort of thing, you can get some different ones here, different release clauses for him as well. You got 1.7 here, but expires on this date. And then after a certain date, it goes down and down each time we're getting later into the year as well. So right now, you can get it for 8.5. If you give it a few more months, 2.1, even later, 1.7. There's a few different release clauses in this player's contract. I mean, he's getting paid less than 20 grand a week right now, and as a backup striker for you, he could be a bit of a utility man as well. He can play a few different roles. He's got a stronger left foot, a very strong right foot as well, so you can put him either side of your strike force. He's 6'4" as well, so a bit of a big look up there, heading of 15 as well, jump and reach of 17, so for a big target forward, as your backup, even as a starter, Volovic could be that guy, and you can get him for absolute pennies. He's got quite a lot of player traits there. I won't read through them all. You can see him all come on the screen right now. Physically, again, the jump and reach and the strength is the main thing about this guy. He's not going to do a lot of running for you. He's got 11's acceleration, pace of 13. He can do a bit of running, but don't expect him to run all game long. He's very much get the ball up to him, head it down, think long ball, target man forward. This could be your guy. Mental anticipation of 16. I love that. Flair of 19 as well for a big man. It's quite interesting to see. Teamwork 19, vision of 17, penalty taking of 16, passing of 14, technique of 17, heading 15. There's so much more. First touch of 16, finishing of 13. There's a lot to like about this guy, and you can get him for absolute pennies for that release clause contract. My next one is Ludwig Augustusson. Of course, he played at Aston Villa for a little while. A little stint, had one season there, only getting 3 appearances. Formerly at Seville, Mallorca, and he's now at Anderlecht. Of course, at the start of this season, he moved to Anderlecht, but there was a release clause put into his contract. You can see it on screen now. A minimum free release from Sevilla, because on loan there right now, of 8.5 million. You can buy him right now from Sevilla. So the only problem is, of course, right now he is out on loan. But I do wonder, if you activate that release clause between now and January 1st, would he have to cancel his contract or on loan for Anderlecht and then come over to you guys? Or would it be an end-of-season deal? Something to maybe try and find out if you really need a left-back, and you can probably wait a year just in case, because it does look pretty darn good. In terms of, like, you can see a value there between 900k and 2.7 million. So it's not a bad price really for him already in game. Of course, with the release clause, you can definitely guarantee you're going to get this guy in. In terms of like being like an actual player, 29 years of age now, he does look pretty darn solid. Decent acceleration, agility, balance, pace, all the good stuff there in terms of his physical attributes. Mentally, I like the work rate of 14, teamwork of 15, determination of 15, composure, concentration, decision-making at 13s and 15s, anticipation of 14. They're all pretty darn solid. But my favourite part about this guy is his crossing of 15. On the left-hand side, getting balls into the box. Imagine having that last striker and this guy whipping the ball in the box from your left back position. It's going to create so many opportunities for you to get so many goals. The rest of the attributes there, a couple of 12s and 13s in there. Good tackling, good passing, good marking. He's very good enough to definitely start for a bigger club sort of thing. So it's worth trying him out. If you're a high-end championship team, maybe a lower-end Premier League team, this could be your starter. The Swedish international, Ludwig Augustusson. I'm going to stick with left back for this next one, because the next one is Mihailo Ristic. Of course, he's at Celta Vigo right now. He's been formerly of Sparta Prague. He's been at Montpellier. He's been at Benfica. He's now at Celta Vigo within this year's edition of the game. And right now, he's available for a minimum fee release clause of 9.25 million, which I don't think is too bad. He's valued between 1.6 and 4.9 though, so you probably can get him for a lot cheaper. But that release clause is there. If it does get a bit higher, of course, again, you can activate that. Once he's played a few more games, of course, that valuation could skyrocket. skyrocket in no time. So it's worth keeping an eye on that minimum fee release clause for this guy. I mean, in terms of the attributes, physically, he's got loads to offer there. Good pace of 14, acceleration of 13, agility of 13. Mentally as well, there's a few 14s in there. A couple of, it's a good, well-rounded player as well for a left-back position as well. 27 years of age as well now. International caps for Serbia as well. So he's done everything right. Crossing of 16, dribbling of 14. A couple of 13s in there. Passings as well, both for penalties of 14. And for both of those, and a technique again of 14. So we touched up once already on Borussia Mönchengladbach, and they seem to have quite a few release clauses in their contracts this year for players, because Alessandro Playa is there as well. Someone that I used last year, as mentioned previously, doing Gladbach save. He was pinnacle, and he got absolutely bags of goals for us in that save. He's 30 years of age now. I mean, he's on a bit of a higher wage there, 58 grand a week, but for the valuation between 3.6 and 11 million, that is not bad. But if you're going to do his contract, you can see a release clause is there of 8.5 million to be activated before the end of season number 1. I do feel he's probably worth that sort of money as well. I mean, physically, he's still got quite a lot to offer as well. Balance of 15, a couple of 13s in there. He's still got legs to get in behind. Anticipation of 16, composures up there, 14 as well. Decent vision of 16. So he's looking really, really good mentally as well. Physically, looks really, really good technically. Still a really solid player. First touch of 15, long shots of 15, passing of 15, penalty taking 13, technique of 16. You can play him as a striker if you really wanted to as well, with that finishing at 12, dribbling of 13 as well. He's got high enough composure of 14 to really be an advanced forward or a winger for you within your systems. So we're going back a few years now to an FM wonder kid. He's now 20 years of age. He's still available for quite a cheap price. We're looking at Matías Arezzo, now at Penarol in Uruguay. So what has happened to him? He's gone on loan from Granada this year. It hasn't really worked out from so far in Europe. But again, you can change that all around. He's only 20 years of age. You can definitely change that all around and make it work for him in Europe. So as you can see, he's on loan until December 31st. But we go back to Granada. He's not on a bad wage, but here's the main one. Release clause, 7.75 million. Could you turn around the fortunes of Matías Arezzo? Yeah, we use him in Europe, or if you're playing abroad somewhere, could he be your guy? Maybe playing in the MLS, bring him over there. He could still be your striker. And for that valuation, that is not bad at all. I mean, right now in games, value between 3.9 and 11 million, so you can get him a little bit cheaper than that 11.5 million right now by hitting that release clause. Physically, still looks really good as well. Acceleration of 15, pace of 12, stamina of 12, agility of 13. You go into the mentors, there's quite a few good numbers in there. Some 14 determination, flair, off the ball, work rate of 13. I do quite like how Arezzo still looks in this game. And again, he's 20 years of age. He's still definitely developed as well for that price. In terms of technically as well, crossing of 13, dribbling of 13, a finishing of 14, first touch, free kicks of 14 as well, penalty taking 14 and technique of 14. There's still a player in there. Can you unlock it? Our next mode is a Brazilian under-20 capped midfielder. He can play wing back. He can play as a striker technically according to the game as well. Formerly of Chelsea, Flamengo, Real Valladolid. He's there right now. It is Kennedy. He was at Chelsea for such a long time, being loaned out season after season after season. And now he has a solid move, moving over to La Liga. But he is available for a cut price, as you can see now, 9.25 million for minimum fee release clause. He's on 25 grand a week, and in fact, his valuation's a lot lower than that, so you probably can get him for a lot cheaper. But again, the option is there for that release clause, and you can hit it anytime you want. So let's dive into Kennedy and have a bit more of a deeper look now into this player. Physically, lots of 13s and 14s in there. It looks very, very capable of still playing. 27 years of age. He's still young enough to do quite a bit of a job for you. Mentally, there's a few bits there, there's a few 11s and 12s, nothing massive. Flair 15 is pretty good for him. Anticipation of 13. Get a bit further down there, off the ball of 13, but very well-rounded, 11s and 12s across the board mentally. But what I do like about him is his technicals. He's got a good dribbling of 13, still first touch of 13, finishing of 12, free kick taking of 13 as well, long shots of 14, technique of 14. And again, it's the versatility of this sort of player as well. You can play literally the whole left-hand side of the pitch. You can see now on the tactic screen on the left-hand side here. You can play left back, you can play left wing, you can play as a striker if you really want to. You can probably play on the right-hand side. He's got, you can see now on the right-hand side here for him. He does say he's accomplished there. And of course, playing as like an inside forward, with those attributes, cutting on that left-hand side, on that left foot, will be very, very tasty to use indeed in FM24. So for this next one, we're going back, of course, to La Liga. It's going to be another left back. I'm looking at Tony Lato. He's 25 years now in the age range, and he's not too bad, so he looks like a really, really good player. Formerly of Valencia, he came through the PSV Academy before making the switch to Osasuna, Valencia, and now Mallorca in game. So Tony Lato has a release clause of 7.25 million. So if you really need a left back, he could be your guy. I mean, right now, he is valued a lot less than that in game. If we go back to him on screen now, you can see now, he's valued between 1.2 and 3.6 million. So you can get him for a lot cheaper than that already, but the release clause is there if you're really desperate and they're not willing to sell. I mean, physically, I really like him as well. Loads of 14s in there, acceleration of 15, 14 for natural fitness, pace, stamina, and agility straight away. Yellow in the mentals as well. Just very well rounded. Loads of 12s in there, loads of real good numbers for him. A work rate of 15, high work rate in them fullbacks. Good positioning of 12. That's exactly what you're looking for in those defensive areas, really. Technically as well, crossing a 12, dribbling a 13, first touch of 12, technique, tackling both at 13s and 12s as well, passing and marking again 13s and 12s. So very well rounded. It's a good backup makeshift as of like a bigger team sort of thing. Let's say you're someone like a Newcastle, it could be a good backup left back for you already. But even a lower end Premier League team, could probably start for you straight away. We are sticking with defence for this one as well. We're staying in La Liga as well. We're looking at Alaves defender Marias now. He's 27 years of age. He's currently valued between 1.8 and 5.4 million. But if we go now into his release clause and have a bit of a deeper look, you can get him for 7.75 million if they're reluctant to let him go. And I mean, to be fair, at 27 years of age, he's still a pretty solid defender. He's like 6'2". He's a good jumping reach of 14, heading of 13. So again, he's going to win balls, and for set pieces, he could probably nail a few goals for you this season. Now, don't get me wrong, there's no massive standout attributes here. They're all 13s, 12s, 11. They're very run-of-the-mill standard attributes, but as a backup player, he could definitely add some depth for you, Maras. Good work rate and positioning, about 14. Lost leadership of 16 as well. So you're doing a new leader to come into your team, potential new captain for the future. This could be your guy as well. 14 in concentration, bravery, both 14 as well. I mean, you mentioned the heading already, along with the marking and the tackling at 13 and 14. He's a good utility man. He could definitely cover in centre back and even possibly as a CDM role with that passing and vision range on him. And for our last one, we found the 19-year-old who's not been capped yet by Serbia, but he has a lot of big interest there from Chelsea, Man United, Barca and Real Madrid, and he can go for a real cut price figure. Marko Volovic is available for such a cut price deal already, and going to his contract now, you can see 8 million is his release clause right now. And so many big clubs are already sniffing around already sort of thing. I mean, his value is between 4 and 12 million. So, okay, you can get him for a lot less, but with these big clubs already after him, beat them to the price, get in there straight away and offer this guy a contract because he could develop into an absolute worldie. 19 years of age. Physically, he's a couple of 15s in there for his jumping reach, his natural fitness already. Good pace, good stamina, good strength. Back me 6'5" as well. He's an absolute mountain to put up front in your teams right now. You got to remember at 19, he's still going to develop quite nicely as well. The mentals are still pretty decent. A concentration of 13, determination of 13, flair of 14, positioning of 13, and then even technically, there's not a lot there to look for right now. But I'm thinking that price though, if them sort of big teams are interested, there's going to be something special about this guy in FM24 this year. The headings did at 14, finishing of 12, first touch of 11. If you remember 2 years ago, Lorenzo Luca, he had nothing mental and really, really good to look at in terms of when you look at his profile, but he bagged goals, and I feel that Marco could beat that this year. So it's worth going in there for 8 million and just seeing what he's all about. So there you go. There's a few release clause bargains I've found within FM24 so far. If you found any better ones, again, let us know in the comment section. Make sure you let us know. People watching this video can go down there and find some of them as well. If you have enjoyed this video, of course, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. And as always, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It is really helping us. We're on the way to 2,000 subscribers now on the channel, so that would massively help. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again very, very soon.